Hi everybody, Zach Mitchell here, and I'm going to be doing a new music vlog for you today. Today I'm going to be talking about some of now this is my personal choice, so if you have your own choice, which I'm sure you do, I would love to hear your opinions on, so leave a comment below and tell me, and remember to thumbs up the video too, but this is going to be my favorite album covers for rock and roll. I'm just going to be showing you a couple of my favorite covers for certain albums that I really do love. Now, probably my favorite album cover of all time is the cover to my favorite album of all time, which I've said in an earlier video before, which is Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell. I really, really love that picture of, I don't know if that's supposed to be Meatloaf in particular, but if it is, it's a very, very bad portrayal of him. But it's just someone on a motorcycle batting out of hell in a graveyard, and you see the bat there on the gravestone. And I've always really admired that artwork there. And of course, the original, it opened up on vinyl, and you would see this. The picture here, and you'd see that's Meatloaf, that's Jim Steinman, greatest songwriter in the entire world, and that is the back of the head of Ellen Foley, the woman who sang female vocals on Paradise by the Dashboard Light. So that is my favorite album cover of all time. And again, another one of my favorites is probably, I don't know, I think it might be by the same artist who did Bat Out of Hell, but I'm not entirely sure. But I know that this album came out right about 3 years after maybe 4 years after Bat Out of Hell, and it wasn't by Meatloaf, it was by Jim Steinman when he went solo, and the album was Bad for Good. And it's very similar artwork to Bat Out of Hell, but again, a complete original, which I really love. And right down here, you can see the words, "I know that I'm going to be like this forever. I'm never going to be what I should. And you think that I'll be bad for just a little while, but I know that I'll be bad for good," which is the chorus to the title track of this album, obviously. And really up close there on his arm is the tattoo which says "Bad for Good," which I think is really nice. And when the album would open up, you would see this on the back. That is Jim Steinman. So that's a very good one. Here's a kind of an album by an obscure band that you've probably never heard of before, but it's one of my favorites. Ever heard of this? No? Oh. But speaking of Pink Floyd, when I was a kid, you always go into the record store, and always hearing all of the album names of Pink Floyd, but never really getting into them as much as I have been as I've been growing up. I always thought that this album was called Animals, but I discovered quite a few years ago that I was wrong. This album is called Atom Heart Mother, but I'm sure a lot of people might get confused with this being called Animals. Of course, if you're not a Floyd fan, which I wasn't at the time, like 7 or 8 years old. But I really admire that album artwork. I really think that is very, very cool, because I found out that that's not even a real picture of a cow. It's just they designed the cow out of like paper mache or something like that, and they made that themselves. I really like that. Another really cool album cover is this one right here, Who's Next? And I'm not really entirely sure what this is, But as you can see, the band had just taken turns urinating on it. So I'm not sure what it is, but the band took the time to urinate on it, and that ended up being the cover. I don't know. This is an album that I really got into when I was a senior in high school, and it is definitely considered to be one of the greatest live albums of all time. And this has been parodied quite a few times, I think most famously by the Cameron Crowe movie Almost Famous, from the fictional band Stillwater, and it is the Allman Brothers live at the Fillmore East, which included the 22-minute song Whipping Post. And there's the Allman Brothers before Duane Allman's tragic death. This is this album. The title track of it has been a big part of my life ever since I was a wee child of about 4 when I first heard it, and it is Don McLean's American Pie, which I'm sure all of you know the words to. But I really like. I never bought this album until I was about a freshman in high school, and I really love that cover of him just with that American flag on his thumb. Maybe I'll use that for my thumbnail. There you go. Just a few more I'll talk about, and then I'll end the video. This is, I think I've mentioned this before, that I really admired this album cover, and it is ELO's El Dorado, which is just a very nice still from the movie The Wizard of Oz, where the Wicked Witch is trying to take the shoes off of Dorothy. I like that a whole lot, and I think this actually does open up, and you get all the lyrics and some nice pictures on the back. But I'm not going to put it on the wall or anything like that, because if I do, I'll lose the album cover. So I'm not doing that. One of my favorite female singers of all time. This is my favorite album by her. Joni Mitchell's Blue. This is just a very nice portrayal of the album itself, and the type of music that's on the album being very melancholy-ish. It's just like expresses the whole mood of the album almost. And it also shows off what a hot mama Joni Mitchell was back in the day. At least I think so. A lot of people think that her cheekbones are a little too sharp. Just kidding. Oh, here's an album that I'm sure a lot of people have seen before, with the outline of a penis on it. The Rolling Stones' Sticky Fingers. And you can see it right there. I think maybe this might be Mick's pelvis, and that is the outline of a penis right there. I'm not sure if it's real or if they just stuffed something inside of his pants to make it look big, but I don't know. How about we just leave some mystery between that? And of course on the back, see his ass. And last but not least, probably my favorite live album of all time, which has a really great cover. The Who's Live at Leeds, which gave it a look of a bootleg album, which I think is really cool. And it just has the little stamp on it. This is the deluxe edition, of course. So those are just a few of my favorite album covers of all time. And I would love to hear what your favorite album covers are. Leave a comment below and remember to thumbs up the video. I'll see you next time.